Naming of organic compounds, topic which we study in year 12 for organic chemistry. Let's start with some rules. Just very simple rules. When you're naming organic compounds, we're looking at a molecule. We need to look at the longest carbon chain. We need to look at the functional groups that are attached. And we need to look at the alkyl groups, the methyl, ethyl, or propyl. Please remember, these are not functional groups. The second rule to look at is number the longest carbon chain from the end that gives you the lowest number functional group on the lowest carbon number. So in organic chemistry, there's no strict rule whether we need to start naming from the right or the left. We will give you some examples of aldehyde compounds which contain the aldehyde group, and you will notice that that will always be carbon 1. We need to put the groups on the chain on the name, meaning the groups that come off the carbon chain are given a number to show the carbon atom they're on, and then when we write the name, we need to list these in alphabetical order. Anyway, you can pause the video here and you can read the 3 rules here. What I'm more interested in looking at some examples and how we're going to name organic compounds. Okay, let's start with the first one. We notice here now that we will notice here that we have let's focus on the structural formula. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carbons in the chain. This one's on the side. If you notice, it's on the side like that. So the longest straight chain is 5. So the first thing we look at is the longest chain is 5 carbons. Remember, 5 means pent. On the second carbon, so this time carbon 1, carbon 2, on the longest carbon chain, 5, and this is carbon 1, and here's your carbon 2. So you have a methyl group attached on carbon 2, which we will call 2-methyl. I've ringed it as well. And then we will count from the right, as methyl is on carbon 2. And we name this as 2-methyl pentane. It could have been 4-methyl if I started from here. 2, 3, and then this one would be my 4. But 4 is bigger than 2, hence 2-methyl pentane. Let's go to the next one. Now this one you can see 1, 2, 3, 4. You have a methyl group on the second carbon, so 2-methyl butane. Those are the 2 easiest ones to look at. Let's move to the third one. Okay, now this time, if you pause the video here, you should be able to work this out yourselves. So my advice is pause the video here, try to work this out yourself. Right, let's look at this. The longest chain is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You've got methyl groups. You've got 2 methyl groups, 1, 2. So we will call this dimethyl. We will name from the right. Methyls are on carbon 2 and 3. Hence we will call this 2,3-methyl pentane. This could have been 3,4, but 3,4 is bigger than 2,3. Now please note dimethyl, meaning there are 2 methyls on carbons 2 and 3. Moving on. Note, when we're naming here, we're using a comma to separate the numbers, and we're using a hyphen to separate the number and letter. Moving on to the next one. Okay, I can speed up here now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Longest chain is 6. There are 3 methyls attached, so trimethyl. So 2, 3, 4, trimethyl hexane. Hopefully, these are the easier ones. We will look at a few other examples in a bit. Next one, Now, I've sort of circled it. There's your longest chain now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hexane. You've got methyl on carbon 2. You've got a methyl on carbon 4. And you've got a methyl on carbon 4. So you've got 2 methyls on carbon 4. There are 3 methyls in total. So we're going to call this 2, 4, 4 trimethyl hexane. The numbers are corresponding to the methyl 2, 4, 4, that's trimethyl hexane. It is not 3, 3, 5 trimethyl hexane. Just to go back for you. Right, next one. Let's look at alkenes. Alkenes, a double bond after the first carbon. So we will call this but 1. I'm just going to add a double bond. Sorry, I should say here double bond is after carbon 1. So this is but 1 Next one. Longest chain has 5 carbons, so it's pentene. We need to look at the position of the double bond and the methyls attached. So we have 2 methyl groups. We will call this, there are your 2 methyls. We will call this 3,4-dimethyl pent-2-ene. The double bond takes preference. Hence, the functional group is on the smallest carbon. So we will number the methyls after that. Okay. Now let's look at this one. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 carbons, so it's hex. There's your longest chain. The main functional group has a halogen, so it's a fluoro, 1, 2. We will put fluorine on carbon 2. Then the other functional groups you can see are methyl and ethyl there, just to highlight for you. You've got an ethyl on carbon 4, you've got a methyl on carbon 5, name in alphabetical, so it's 4 ethyl, 2 fluoro, 5 methyl hexane. Okay, a few examination questions to look at. How would we name this one? Please pause the video here and name it yourself. We've got an alcohol group, we've got a methyl attached, and we've got bromine attached. So we will give this priority will be given to the alcohol. So it's got 3 carbons, so it's prop. We have OH on carbon 1. We've got Br, and we have, name it alphabetically, 3 bromo, 2 methyl, propan, 2 ol. This one, it's got methyl and Brs attached. Let's name this one. Sorry, this one you can name yourself. It has got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. This has 4 carbons in its longest chain. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we will call this 2 bromo. We will call this 2 bromo 2, 3 dimethyl butane. Okay, next one. 1, 4 dibromo 1 chloropentane. This is an exam question. We will name this 2 bromo, 2 chloro, 1, 1, 1 trifluoroethane. I'm giving fluorines the priority here because fluorines are more electronegative than bromines and chlorines. Now, on the mark scheme, I've seen the following also. 1 bromo, 1 chloro, 2 trifluoroethane. So here we will accept both. There is some ambiguity when it comes to halogenoalkanes. I personally tend to give preference to fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine in that order. Next one, how will we name this one? So in red, I've taken this example from a AQA chemistry book by Hodder. So the red carbons tells you the chain. So the longest chain has 6 carbons. So we will call this, and then you can see it's got chlorines attached, it's got fluorines attached, and it's got methyls attached. So we will call this one 1, 1, 2 trichloro 2,5-difluoro 3,4-dimethylhexane. Now, my advice would be pause the video here and try to work this molecule out yourself. Okay, this one, the example, this is there's an aldehyde group here, so we will give priority to the aldehyde as carbon 1. And if I show you the highlight this for you because I think it's important, there's your aldehyde. So that's carbon 1. This is carbon 1, 2, 3 methyls on carbon 3, so 3-methyl butanal. What about this one? Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's an OH. Please note, and you will learn these skills with experience, an aldehyde takes priority over an alcohol group. So this one will now be named as hydroxy. So 4-hydroxypentanal. A few other examples just to look at, and I'll just name these and you can work these out yourself. 2-iodo 4-nitrobutane, so iodine takes precedence on this. And those are some of the examples of naming compounds. I will try to set up another website where I can share my videos, to share my PowerPoints with yourselves if you're not my students. But please comment on this video to see how you found the naming of organic compounds.